Hi there, Robin here. Let's draw with a prompt. I draw nearly daily and am certainly in my studio almost every day. If I'm not creating, then I'm cleaning and organizing and generally fussing about, also known as procrastinating. And if I'm really feeling adventurous and brave, I'm video editing. Oof, that's tough for an old dinosaur like me, but I still do it because I'm learning a lot. Sometimes all this creating is an easy process and it just takes a prompt, and I do as I do today and pull out the prompt for snowflake. At first, I decided I would take the easy way out and draw a snowflake and play with shapes, and it was okay. Okay, I'm really lying here. It was lazy and it made myself angry about it. Firstly, my OCD kicked in and it was inaccurate. The points are not correct they're not the correct number for a snowflake. And I tell you, seriously, the OCD kicked in and I can't handle that kind of sloppiness. So much so that I couldn't sleep at night until I came up with an idea. I just couldn't let myself get off that easy, so no. I'm showing it, but I'm embarrassed to show it. The drawing was an exercise to get ready for the next step, which was a better drawing. It's kind of embarrassing to show you that kind of a drawing, but we can't all make great art daily. And it's the mistakes where we go, right? Okay, I'm lying. It's just something I said to myself to make myself feel better. You gotta do it, right? I made a change of plans. So the next day, I took pictures of my hand and imagined getting the feel of a snowflake to land on my finger again. Now, where I live, it is in South America, in Ecuador, and although I live in the Sierras, or the mountains, we don't see here snow ever, unless you go to Quito, which is a fair distance away. But I don't go to Quito all that often, so I don't see snow all that often unless I go back to Canada. Being a Canadian, I sometimes miss the snow, and I was going on memories about the snowflake on the finger. And here's my mind at work. In order for the snowflake not to melt on your finger has to be cold. And I don't like cold fingers. So I didn't want to go down that road. So what I thought it would be a fleeting moment where the snowflake touches your finger and is caught on this drawing. So I'm imagining that I have perfect timing and got the photo. Now, here's the fun part. I start using some of my favorite tools here. And the favorite tool, the mechanical pencil, is the shaka shaker pencil. It's my favorite. I think it's just because I like to say the words shaka, but that's besides the point. It's called shaka because you firmly shake the pencil and the lead advances. So you'll see my hands shaking back and forth, and it's to advance the lead as I've used it up. I like it better than clicking all the time and changing my hand placement. I have other pencils, but this one is my favorite. I have some other innovative ones that are lots of fun too, but really honestly, this is my favorite, and it's got a nice gel where my finger hits, because otherwise I get a huge callus on that one knuckle. So, yep, I'm shaka-shucking my pencil some more on this picture. Here's a little cultural information. I'm using paper that we call here cartolina. Now, I think this is what we call cardstock in Canada. It's smooth and it's white. It's not overly weighty. It's not overly thick, but it's firmer than, say, computer paper or whatever they call that other stuff. I mostly use this kind of paper for light and easy drawings, and drawing exercises. So this is perfectly wonderful for this type of journal drawing that we're doing today. I do journal drawing differently. I don't necessarily like a book, but I like my folders. So I made this folder, and this is where I store the papers. And when it gets too full, I just stack them all together to be viewed later so I can remember. But I like using this folder. It's one that I made, and it fits me perfectly for this particular project. Sorry. One of the reasons also I like this paper is because it's smooth, and I love smooth paper with graphite, and I love smooth paper with colored pencils. I love the feeling, the texture of gliding like glass over and still making a mark. I don't know, it does something wonderful for me. It's just an elegant feeling. I'm drawing over rough paper like cold press watercolor paper. It just makes me feel like I'm driving over gravel when I don't want to. It's just a different experience, but I like that nice smooth line. Drawing is all about shapes and capturing and focusing on shapes. So you look for the shapes inside the drawing, the major shapes, and the minor ones too. But it's also about how size relate to each other and proportion. So this is where I look for examples like the width of the finger. Where is the width of the finger the same? I use my pencil as a tool and I look for where that location will be. So sometimes you'll see me using my pencil and measuring it up against something else. And that helps me keep the relationship, say, of the finger to the fist the same. It's with those, it keeps you away from, say, thinking about what you think is there versus what's really there. And then you train your brain over and over to look and compare all around to give you the bigger picture. I use my pencil like this. It's not just a graphite holder. It's a tool. And I like it when my tools have more than one use. So it's easy to use, and I use it as a tool and a graphite holder, and I haven't figured out anything else yet, but I'm sure I will in the future. The drawing is done when I think it's done. Sometimes the drawing is really detailed and I'm in the mood for something super accurate and super involved. But art isn't always like that. Art is sometimes an impression. Art is sometimes, or drawing, is sometimes it's the vagueness that's most interesting rather than the hyperrealism. I like hyperrealism, but I don't always like it for me. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that I have a different idea of what I want to see at the time. So I'm not making anybody wrong for it, but in general I keep my drawings fairly light and hopefully enjoyable. If I get caught too far up in the details, I find that my OCD kicks in and I start getting too serious and I don't have as much fun. And for me, drawing is supposed to be fun as well as a lesson. So drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing is important because it's all about repetition. It's all about repeated activity like anything else. I've been drawing for so long I can't even remember. But it's with that experience that I can make different decisions. But even then, I still learn all the time. I give myself different challenges, and with those challenges come newer lessons. And then I decide, gee, I don't know that lesson. I think I should go back. I recently took a course where they were talking about shapes. So actually, to be honest, the first video or the first drawing where shapes were wholly involved, I tried to do them with skill and control of my hand. So it actually was an exercise, not necessarily about the drawing itself, but about the skill of holding a pencil. So anyway, if you like this kind of video and you learned something, or you have something to share, please let me know in the comments below and let me know your favorite techniques and tools for drawing. I'll talk to you later, and keep drawing and creating. It will keep you smiling in this crazy, crazy time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.